pop up and down. There we look, we're live. Like it even says you are live. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is Anna Sothen here at 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where we do not talk about, I didn't tell you that. I've told Kelly that before. We don't talk about sports because I know nothing about sports, but it's on the ESPN because then we can use that platform because it gives us a really big reach. So we use our tools to help us do the things.
Go sports.
Yeah, go sports. But so we are here to talk to my friend Kelly Case, which I'm so excited that you are back on. And Nick, my new friend, Nick Jenkins, right?
So great to be on today.
I'm so excited that you guys are here. And you're with the Chesterfield Food Bank.
We are, yes.
I think is amazing. And I don't think that a lot of people realize all the things that you guys do in the community, right? I was just listening to the conversation that you were having earlier, and I was like, oh, okay, you do that. And that. And it's not just, and I don't want to say just food, right? Because food is a very big part of what you guys do, but there's so much more that goes into it. Okay.
We are more than just a food bank.
Yes.
And you're right. I mean, that's why thank you for having us, because I think Chesterfield Food Bank Outreach Center and the people who volunteer for us and work with us to serve thousands of people are hard at work every day. Yeah. And so having folks like you and people to help, just promote what we do and let people know that we're here doing this kind of work all over Chesterfield County is huge for us. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you don't know what you don't know until you know it, right?
That's right.
And then,
That's right. All
right. So Kelly, tell them what your role is with.
Yeah, I am the development director for the food bank, the first development director we've ever had.
Awesome.
So like I said, Kim Hill and Nick and a lot of other folks who have been in the trenches doing this work for years have done their best to do fundraising and supporting the mission that they have so we can sustain all the services that we provide. I came on the board during COVID, and while I was on the board and helping with the capital campaign, I said, you need help with this fund. People need to know about the work you do.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think of it as much as fundraising as it's most people I talk to want to help in some way. So it's just a matter of being able to put this opportunity in front of people. Feeding people it takes a village, and it is a community effort, and we need everybody's help to be able to do it. So.
And fundraising is a hard job.
It's a fun job. I get to talk about amazing work. I know.
You have a great passion for it, but I think of like other times, I'm part of several organizations where they bring me in and they're like, hey, can you do the fundraising? And I'm like, yeah. And I sell for a living. And I'm like, I don't fundraising. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not equipped to do that. So you are definitely just a powerhouse when it comes to.
Thank you.
When it comes,
I think it's just my husband is also in sales, and he teases that I have an easy sell because he's like, who doesn't want to help feed people?
That's real.
Right.
And true. I'm like, then great. I landed in the right spot, and I feel like everybody has a calling for something, and I'm glad that Nick was able to come with me because he has a calling to really help people who are in the trenches of and just in critical situations that need a lot of help. I think I'm called to help promote the work they're doing and let people know what they do. So I think we all have, skills to do things.
I call it your zone of genius.
It is.
Like,
and
there's
so
certain things that you're just equipped to do.
Right.
And then you hire really good people to do the other things. Like when you were talking about, clipping the videos, I was like, not my zone of genius. I'm going to send it to the person who does it for me. Right. Yeah. So Nick, talk about what your role is.
So I am the community outreach director, and I'm over communications as well. So doing fun opportunities like this and getting to talk to people about the work that we do. I came on board in 2019 around October, so just a short period before COVID hit. Okay. And we grew 400% during COVID. So we went from like 10,000 people a month getting served to during COVID 45 to 50,000. Wow. And since COVID, we've been able to level out around 15 to 16,000 visits every month. Obviously, that's influxed right now due to the holiday season and due to us coming off of this government shutdown and those that were without pay or those without food-based benefits. And that's going to take a few months for us to bounce back from. But it's been a very exciting ride. I get to not only help with the overall food food distributions and make, and that aspect of it, which was really, that's really the anchor of what we do. But then recognizing that food insecurity is a symptom of underlying causes, and being a part of a team where we get to build out additional resources, opportunities, and pathways to address those underlying causes, and really walk our clients into a place from a food line into a place of stability is amazing. And it's not by the masses, right? So it's not like 100 people every day, but if we can get one a day, one step closer to being a little bit more stable in their life, whether it means having food in their pantries or finding gainful employment or addressing maybe deeper underlying issues that will allow them to step into a higher quality of life. Like, that's a win for us. And we get to see that day after day, if not by the masses, at least one by one. And that's how our community's built, those one by one.
Well, that's how you create a ripple effect, is that one person, and you finally get them stable, whatever that looks like for them. And then they then go out and they make an impact on the community.
And that's the reality, is so often those that we start off our relationship by serving and helping become part of the team, helping to serve other people. And it doesn't take life being perfect, because I don't think that ever happens. But when you go from one place, then you're able to step into the next stage. You want to turn around and help the next person get there as well. And we see that, and that's amazing.
Have you guys ever read that poem about the starfish? The man, and there's like thousands of starfish on the shoreline that are there, and the guy is throwing them back, and somebody says, well, why are you throwing them back? Well, to that one it matters, right? Like, he's never gonna be able to get to all of them, but if I can get to one and help that individual, it's that's the image that popped into my head right when you were saying that. Like, you may not be able to help them by the thousand, but you can help that one person. And that
we met a woman recently who works for an insurance company now. And when you talk about that one that matters, when she was going through kind of a bad divorce kind of situation and found herself in need, she didn't know how she was going to provide for her son. And there's a lot of women that end up in those situations. And she came to us for a couple of years, and so to her it mattered that she could come and help fill her pantry so that she and her son could eat. She could make lunches for him. And didn't need us forever, just needed us until she got on her feet. And we see that so much with the people that we serve. So anyway, but
So you guys went from serving 10,000 to now 15 to 17,000 a month. Is that what you said?
15 to 17,000 visits every month, and that's from the mass food distributions. We have 8 of those that take place around Chesterfield County every month. Obviously, between November and December, we've increased the amount of distributions in response to the government shutdown and the need of our community. But generally, we have about 8 distributions, and then we also have our community outreach initiatives. We serve the motels along Route 1 from South Richmond down past south of Route 10 every Thursday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that goes into that. We know it's more than just the food distributions, and that allows us. So we're taking a bagged meal out to them every Thursday night, and that allows us to build relationship, build credibility, trust, and then help them take that next step for those that are looking. Our client advocate program also sees an enormous amount of crisis walk-ins daily, weekly, monthly, and they're not only providing that food assistance, but also sitting down and having like what we're doing, having a real conversation about real life. No judgment, no pressure. But if we can identify something that maybe is the root cause of you needing that food assistance, and then we can connect you to a resource, whether it's within our internal programs or we're built on partnership within the community. We believe that we're not trying to be the
be all end all.
Yeah, we want to build these relationships with other resource providers, like you had said, that scope of genius. Like, there's plenty of things we know people need, but it's not what we do.
Correct.
So let's build a relationship and then get those people connected to that.
Yeah, and you're not going to be the rehab center, but you can connect the relationship with the rehab center that you could then.
And then we provide people. What we recognize, Ms. Kelly, is obviously development. So resources, money, monetary, those donations are critical. But the greatest resource that we can provide our community is time. That's the one thing we can't raise more of. We can't create more of.
Life's greatest commodity.
That's it. So when we sit down with people, we do it, relationally. We want to get to know them, really
Yeah.
see where they're at, and then not just pass them off to the next place, but walk with them through that
Right.
next place. So we end up walking with a much bigger team, a lot more friends, and a whole lot more people that we call family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I love that you guys are getting to the root cause of it, right? Because it'd be really easy to just say, okay, you need, this is the need you have. Let's fill
Yeah.
your pantry,
Yeah.
and then see them
Yeah.
back the next month, and then the next month. And I just think of like how many times just in individuals who don't have those, like I get so caught up in something that's happening in my life, and all of these other
Yeah.
things start to go by the wayside
Yes.
because we're just so involved. And so the fact
Yeah.
that you guys are looking, saying, okay, I see this, but
Yeah.
instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on it, which is an easy fix,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
easy. Let me give
Yeah.
you some food and off you go, but not realizing, hey, you need, like, there's more to this. Like,
That's it.
and let's figure out what that is, because if we can figure out what the root cause, maybe we can stop it, and then we
That's
can
right.
help, and then they can feel better about themselves. And then again, like you said, now you've developed people who have come back and said, well, you helped me, now let me help the next person.
And that's it. And that speaks to
Yeah.
our mission. You know,
Yeah.
It
we are
does.
built on fighting hunger and empowering lives. How do we fight hunger? Yeah, through the food
Mhm.
distributions.
Correct.
But realistically, it's by empowering lives,
Right.
Yeah.
getting people connected. Support's huge. Not all of us have a great support system.
No.
And when life happens, if you don't have that, you can find yourself in a situation you never imagined.
Really quickly.
Yeah. So for our neighbors, if they find themselves in that situation and they don't have that support, they don't have a number to call, we can be that.
Yeah.
We can't do everything, but
Right.
whatever
Yeah.
we can do, that we do our best to achieve it.
Yeah.
We really do. The folks that work with us at the food bank, I mean, have such a heart for what they do. We have one gal who stays late to help our Spanish speaking clients write resumes
Yeah.
so
I
they can
love
get a
that.
job.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we look at every,
This is the food bank people that are helping
Yes.
people write their resumes so they can get a job. It's not just
Yeah.
about the food.
we want people to be employed.
Yeah.
We want people to, like Nick said, to not have to be in our line.
Right.
You know, we've, you know, as he mentioned, we have folks that come in for emergency cases, over 1,000 a year
Wow.
that come in. They don't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
And all of those folks sit down with the client advocate
Yes.
and get that help with, you know, if we know of jobs, Connie, our client advocate, actually calls the
Which is
county,
amazing.
landscaping. You know, she has connections everywhere about jobs that maybe anyone can get as an entry level thing.
Yeah.
And she kind of keeps this Rolodex of that,
Okay.
which is huge. Workforce development. I mean, just to be able to help someone get employed right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Kim, our director, has a heart that, she's hired many people who we have served, who've come to volunteer, and then we've employed ourselves,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome.
That's awesome. That's the first full circle moment.
Nick talked about, you know, outreach, and we talked about, you know, our food distributions, you know, just trying to get the scope of our work out there. Another huge program that we've started last year is our school pantry program.
Yeah.
And that one is
Mention
near
that.
So
near
awesome.
and dear to me.
Yeah.
We have a lot of students in Chesterfield County that are facing food insecurity.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I get a lot of times, well, what is food insecurity? What does hunger look like in Chesterfield County?
Right.
For the folks that we see, it looks like people who don't get full government aid, but they don't make a livable wage.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
kind of
It's
in
a
that,
cliff.
it's called
It's
underemployed. And, you know, Feedmore, our distributor, they sent out some recent data showing that, you know, in Chesterfield County, in our area, we have a 10% underemployed number of people.
Wow.
And these are folks that can't get assistance.
Right.
And so what do they do? And these are people who there are EMTs. These might be firefighters. They're entry-level teachers. I mean, they're also working in our coffee shops and waiting, you know, tables and things like that. But, you know, we want to live in a community where all of that is readily available.
Right.
And the people who are providing those services are happy and healthy and
Yeah.
fed.
Yeah.
But the school pantries, you know, I think because of the government shutdown, we have recently gotten some help from Town Bank, which we're really excited about.
That's exciting.
And they're going to help us grow that. We're going to add 5 more schools.
That's amazing.
So we'll be in 20 schools in Chesterfield County, which
Wow.
is
Huge.
great. We probably have another 20 to go.
Absolutely.
There's 68 schools in the county.
I was just going to ask, I'm trying to remember how
Yeah,
many,
yeah.
I know there's 64,000 students.
Yeah.
It's a big school
It's a huge-
district.
yeah,
For people who aren't familiar with size, it is a
Yeah.
large school
It's-
district.
Yes, it's
and,
one of the largest, I think.
yeah.
So,
And the pantries are great. We do food. We provide the food. the schools know who needs it.
Yeah.
It goes to students. It can go to faculty. They can send it home on the weekends. We had one grandparent that came in who, because of circumstances, suddenly had several grandchildren living with them and didn't know how they were going to provide.
Right.
As they're enrolling the kids in the new school, because of course they had to move, our pantry was there, and the principal and the counselors sent them home with all kinds of food that day, right there.
Yeah.
And so just breaking down barriers of access to the food that people need to get by, and letting people know that we're here. And, you know, you may be surprised that you could qualify for grocery help. And we tell people, come to us. Don't skip your mortgage. Don't be late on your rent.
Right.
Come to us first and see what we can do to help.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I help, there's a friend of mine who's the, I forget, athletic director. That's what I'm like, 80 something like that, for Richmond City Public Schools. And he created that same thing. He created a pantry in his office. And so I'm the one who supports that.
Yes.
One of the the individuals who supports that. So we go grocery shopping and I'm like, you know, just tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, don't get that. That's not healthy. Get that over there. That type of thing. But he does the same thing because they're like we talked about earlier, like Jack, we are by no means in need of it, but Jack, I had to figure out the new school system for like how to put money into his account.
Yeah.
And I didn't figure that out. And so
Yeah.
he had to go and he's like, Mommy, I got the free lunch. And he was mortified, which I think might have been a good thing for him, right? In retrospect. But like for a kid to have to go and get that, and you like you said, back in the 80s, it was very different. Like you could see a stark difference. And so now it's not as stark, but it's still
room to grow.
It's still room to grow. And it's still, there's still that stigma of I can't get the regular lunch and I have to get this. It's different than what my classmates are
It
getting.
is. We know, especially for middle school, high school kids, you know, being able to have these pantries where teachers who know the kids are in need or coaches that know the kids are in need, they can grab stuff off this pantry and very discreetly get it to the kids who need it.
Right. And
that's what I love about it. Having, you know, family members who have really, you know, gone through that and have lived that. There is a stigma, and the kids, they see it. And so, you know, teaching these kids, one, how to advocate for themselves that's a big lesson, and it's hard for a teenager.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and these teachers, they have a heart for these kids, and I don't want them spending their paycheck on food. Let us provide it, and the community is really in support of this program. I think we all know that it's something we need and it's important. We partner with community and schools and the Chesterfield Education Foundation to make sure that that there's no boundary in front of families in our schools that need help with food.
I love that.
It's a battle of, you know, providing food access. Without it being at the cost of dignity,
right?
And from students, which middle school and high school, that's tough.
Oh yeah.
All the way up to adults. We know we were talking with someone at one of the recent special distributions that we put on due to the government shutdown, and they were just explaining that they never foresaw themselves needing to be in a line. In fact, they you know, they had been out helping before,
right?
But because of life and instability that we can face sometimes, they found themselves in that position. And really encouraging them to you know, like, you can come out, get assistance, get the food, and you can not do it at the cost of your dignity.
Right.
We all need help. And that's why it's more than just a program. It's really building community. Not just providing a food distribution, but creating a culture of space where we're allowed to say, hey, right now I'm struggling, I need help. Right. Because we know on the other end of that is, hey, I'm doing better, let me come help.
Right.
And I think that full circle really provides something more than food. It provides a sense of collectiveness, which we need. We need to start asking our neighbor for sugar again. You know, we need to live in that kind of mindset. Difficult times produces it, but it's also a silver lining that more people who face that need, the more often we see the perspective of it shift and people become stronger. COVID, we saw it. Government shutdown, we saw it. Every time we face something, our community seems to just grow stronger.
When I love that because that allows people to love where they live.
That's it.
Right.
It is.
And so you have this pride of, I live in a community who gives a crap about the people that live here,
Yes.
not just me, but about everybody, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a place where I want to live. That's a place where I want to raise my children. That's a place where I want to say, no, I live in this. Like, you should come here and you should do these things and live here and work here and play here, because look at all of the amazing things that we're doing. It's not self-centered, right? Like, we're not a community that's self-centered.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about, living in Chesterfield County. I mean, south of the James, if you will. I mean, we are a community where neighbors help neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, we check on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I see local businesses, county government, big businesses they're out in Meadowville and, coming in that, we care about the boots on the ground, helping our neighbors.
Yeah.
And I think, it makes me love living here.
Yeah.
And why I chose to live here. So
we accidentally chose to live here because when we first moved here, I didn't know that James split Richmond in half. So when our real estate agent was like, "Do you want to live north of the river, or do you want to live south?" And I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? And she's like, "Well, if you're from Richmond, you live north of the river." And I was like, "Oh, can we go south? Because I don't know what that is." But that's so like I truly do love where we live. I miss the beach like immensely, but I love the community that I live in. And people are like, can you describe what it is that you like so much about it? And I was like, you just have to come here and feel it, because it's not a tangible thing. For me, it's a feeling of, yes, I have neighbors, I have community, I have businesses that I'm connected to. And I went to, I can't remember, Mike did it, and it was Kelvin from Core Mortgage and Mark from Midas, and they all talked about how they give back to the community, right? As big businesses, they do that because they know that it impacts not only their employees, but then the community at large. And that makes a stronger fabric for the community that we live in.
It does.
We're definitely
you guys
seeing
are
a
doing
rise in social responsibility within the companies that really do business in Chesterfield. And I think that that's such a powerful transition or perspective for these local business owners to really step into, because it's a reality. If I take care not just of my employees, but of my neighbors, that they're my customers.
Absolutely.
And if we take care of them, then everyone's going to do better.
Right. Absolutely.
So and that's one of the, it's a blessing. It really is that we get to see those that have not abundance, but maybe just a little bit more than the next person are willing to turn around and help that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more that we see that, the more, man, life's hard enough.
It is.
And when we come together, it makes it maybe not always easier, but definitely more enjoyable.
Right. For
And
sure.
and that can be as simple as pushing a cart out of distribution or hosting a food drive, and it can make a difference. Maybe not in someone's life that you may personally know, but you're probably connected to them one way or another. You say from the beach. I moved up in 2018 from the Outer Banks, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I'm from here originally, but I'd lived there, and it was such a small town.
Yeah.
And I came up here, I was like, this is huge. I'm like, obviously, we're in Chesterfield, Richmond area, right? It's not massive, but it felt so big. And then I realized the more I got to know people, like everybody knows everybody.
It's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like
It
it's the
is.
biggest.
It is.
That's what I tell people all the time. And not a lot of people get that. I'm like, you may not know somebody that I know, but they know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And when I was younger, it always was, and I learned it though before I died. So there's a blessing. But like, it was always like, oh, I've heard of you.
Yeah.
And now it's, oh my God, I'm so excited to meet you. I've heard so much about you, right? But that again, we're all interconnected. And so when you help that one person, eventually you may not see, and talking about businesses, right? When your employees see that you give back and you're not just about, and not that there's anything wrong with making money, because the more money you can make, the more money you can give, the more you can help, right? But when you have employees who see that you give a damn and you give back, right? That endears them to you. So they're going to want to stay with you longer because they were like, well, my employer cares not only about me, but our community. And then that impact just, again, it's that ripple effect.
Well, in businesses too, we as an organization with this, what we do volunteer experiences with businesses all the time. It's a great way for you to bring your team in, and so that they can truly be stakeholders in what you're investing in.
Yeah.
So, as a company that comes, I'm the fundraiser. Of course, I love, getting checks because, we're a business. So we have, and businesses understand that.
Correct.
We have gas, we have refrigerated trucks, we have, walk-in freezers.
Oh my gosh, if you guys have never gone to the Chesterfield, like you need to go.
Yeah,
and
come
look at
tour
the
with
facility
me.
because
Yes.
it's massive, and the freezers that you guys have are ginormous.
Yes.
They are big, and they were a game changer. That's how we can serve so many people. But so the like I said, we can. The dollar goes really far, and we are very careful to operate on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
We want most of the money that we receive to go towards the people that we're serving.
Yes.
We're really careful about that, and I'm really proud of us. We are. On Candid, we've got like a platinum rating, and we are definitely an organization that you can trust. When you give us your dollar, you can be guaranteed that it is going to good work.
Right.
But the volunteer experience, I mean, being able to not only give, but bring your team in and let them see what not only they can make their own lives better by maybe volunteering with their family, because we're one of the few places in Chesterfield County where you can volunteer with your kids.
I love that.
And so, but it also grows folks as a team, and then they become invested stakeholders in this fight against hunger that we know we can't do alone.
Right.
We need everybody's help. And so, but you're absolutely right. I think, when you are a local business and you're helping local organizations, it builds that community and makes us stronger.
So I love that.
We love seeing, kind of used to the big corporations having that kind of perspective, but seeing locally owned businesses really embracing this and the employees desiring it.
Yeah.
We don't want to just be a part of a company. We want to be a part of a company that is a part of a community.
Right. Yeah.
And so seeing companies come in from all different sizes that are locally owned and operated, or they're maybe they're not positioned right here in Chesterfield, but their employees live here in Chesterfield. And really taking an ownership of it. And that's what we do, right? So Chesterfield Food Bank Outreach Center, we have people from all over Chesterfield a part of it. It takes 65,000 roughly volunteer hours every year to accomplish the work that we do, which is, you do the math, it's like 7 years in one. It's huge. And that alone is a testimony. Like, as much as we talk about how many we serve, I love talking about how many volunteer hours that we see accumulated each year, because it shows you not just the need is real, but the community behind it is real as well.
I love that.
We have, for just speaking on a revenue side, and this may be interesting to some of the folks that are out there, but we are mostly supported by regular everyday people out in the community giving us $50 a month.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And so, and to me, I know when I got involved with this organization, that really showed what a strong nonprofit this is. When it is supported by the community like that, that the community believes in it,
right?
They're invested in it, and they need the service, and they want it to be here for a long time to come. And so, I'm really proud of that, because it does show that what we do is, I know I said it takes a village before, and it's a little bit cliche, but
it's true.
I kind of feel like we're sort of the avenue in which everybody can get involved,
right,
to end hunger in our community and make sure that people have what they need.
Yeah, and it's that reality of, we're talking about the 6 degrees of connection, right? And just because somebody, they themselves may not be experiencing that food insecurity, they probably know somebody who is, or somebody they know who they care about knows somebody who is.
Right, absolutely.
And I think that's why we see so many monthly donors from our coworkers, neighbors, people we pass by in the store. We all end up supporting because we know that this affects us somehow. And then once people realize we do so much more than just these food distributions, we never want to pat ourselves on the back for providing food if we're not going to be good stewards of those that are filling the lines and really addressing those underlying causes. And when they find that out, it's like, wow, I'm not just getting behind, creating another system where people are kind of just going to get stuck in this cycle of needing this assistance, but I'm supporting something that is addressing that immediate need, but then connecting them to the next step.
Correct.
I would love, I would love for us to reach a point where we get to shut the doors. Like we're in one of the few industries where like we really want to work ourselves out of business. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. Just realities, but I would love to be wrong.
Because again, life
is hard, right?
Life is hard.
Food
happen.
Prices are expensive.
Yeah.
So unless we see really big changes that go beyond our pay scale, we'll probably still be here, but we're going to work every day trying to put ourselves out of business in the best way possible.
Yeah, I love that.
Get people out of the food lines, get people into gainful employment, not just employment, get people connected to drug rehabilitation, mental health services, so much that so many of us can take for granted. Oh, if I'm having I just go do this or I just go do that, that people have no idea how to navigate. They don't have, they don't think they even have the access to it. And they don't have the people around them that we may have that can, inform us or help us in that process. We get to be that. And it's not just me and Kelly, because we couldn't do it all. And it's not just the staff. We do have a staff that's grown since COVID, but it's still a huge shadow compared to the amount of volunteers that really make this operation push forward. So it's people who with lived experiences, people with friends, family, loved ones who have been through it, and people that are, really believe that we can make a difference. And then we step back each at the end of each day, no matter how hard it was, and we're like, someone stepped out of this building and from a food distribution line or from wherever we met them, and they're doing a little bit better than they were before.
It's leaving the person better than you found them.
And that's we talk about that for nature, but we need to talk about that for our neighbors.
Absolutely. That's my goal every day in life is like, the people that I meet, can I leave them better than I found them?
I love that.
Yeah. So tell us more about Giving Tuesday, because that happens the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
It does.
December 2nd. We figured out what that day that was.
It is. It's December 2nd, everyone.
Mark your calendars.
And if you follow us on social media on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, we've got information about it on there. But, Giving Tuesday is a national initiative. And it's kind of a reminder to everyone. We do it around Thanksgiving because it's a thankful time, right? And we're kind of kicking off the Christmas season in that giving spirit. Nonprofits like ours rely on community giving to be able to run our businesses and to keep that food cold and safe as we take it we have 9 distributions every month all over the county.
Right.
And, it takes money to do that. It also is a wonderful way to give. We have on Giving Tuesday, you can go to our website and give at www.cfboc.org. It stands for Chesterfield Food Bank Outreach Center. And you can even make a tribute. So for Thanksgiving, you can give Giving Tuesday in honor of someone or a friend, which I think, send some thanks to somebody. Say, you know what, I appreciate you. And because of that, I'm going to give 100 meals today in your honor. And I would love for that to just take off like wildfire and everyone do that. I mean, what a neat thing to wake up to the day after Thanksgiving or on December 2nd or shortly after, and knowing that, a friend gave 100 meals in your name, which is pretty awesome.
Like naming a star, but even better.
And only $25 buys 100 meals, by the way.
Oh, I was thinking $100, like $1 a meal. No,
if you donate $100, that provides 400 meals.
That's
and
amazing.
So last year we were able to provide over 68,000 meals just because of Giving Tuesday.
I love that.
And so it has become something that we really look forward to because it is a day that everyone can give. You can give a little, it makes a huge impact, but it also you can give and feel like you're part of something, right? Because we'll share some of that out there so you can know that you are part of it. And I do really hope that folks will give in honor of a friend. It could be in memory of someone, but it doesn't have to be.
Right. Yeah.
So, and they get a little email. You'll get a link, and then you get to send an email to that person, and it prompts you for all of that, which is really cool.
And it's so timely. We see this increase or influx of need every year during the holiday season. And even once we get past, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, we enter into January the following year, and that time is just as difficult. That's when it's the coldest out. Everyone's kind of hibernating a little bit, and that's where we can see a decrease.
Right.
So having these opportunities like Giving Tuesday, like Ms. Kelly said, where we can really not just make my donation, but my donation is a part of a collective donation.
Right.
That makes a massive difference. And then that not only provides for the holidays, but it also provides going into, 2026. And we want to make sure that we're here, we're ready. We never want to turn someone away.
Right.
And we have not had to. So we're very thankful with that. But that's because of the community.
Right. Yeah.
And it's such a, great time to give. We're all busy.
Right.
Yeah.
So just on the logistical side of, do I have time to go out and do something meaningful for the food bank?
Right.
You can also just give on Giving Tuesday, which is wonderful. And then I think, for the families that we serve, their budgets are just stretched to the limit this time of year.
Yeah.
And so it's a great time to give.
I love
So,
that.
yeah.
So again, it's CFO.
Nope.
CFBOC.
CFBOC.
Okay.
Yes.
Chesterfield Food
Bank
Bank Outreach Center.
Yes.
Just the first
Okay.
letters.
I know.
It's
I feel
just-
like I need to sign it
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
or bring it with me. It's a mouthful,
Yes,
people, but
it is.
fortunately, I think we have Google Ads working.
Oh,
That if you just put in Chesterfield Food Bank,
It
it'll
will
pop
pop
up.
up.
It will
Yeah.
pop
So
up.
The OC part always confuses
Yeah.
me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trained.
That's the newer part, right? So
Okay.
that took place about 21, 22.
Okay.
And when we really, Miss Hill, who is our executive director, she had this vision of not just fighting hunger, but that second part of empowering lives. And we got to see this opportunity for us to collaborate and merge with a outreach center that was here locally and absorb the outreach functions like the client advocate program and the motel outreach and these initiatives and bring it into something under the food bank that allowed it to grow to what it is now.
Yeah.
And so we had this expansion and we're like, this is a mouthful, but in the same aspect, we want people to know
Right.
it's not just a food bank.
Yeah.
That outreach center, we want people to have to let me say it one more time to make sure I got it right.
Right.
So that they know when they're in need, whether it's food-based or something else, they know whether for them to go there or if they have someone else, where to send them.
Yeah.
So CFBOC. Once you get it down, say it enough to where you got it down.
CFBOC.
There you go.
Right. We need to get a little.
You just put a
A
little
little
jingle to
jingle.
it, then you.
I'm going to get my
I
old
know, I don't know
cheerleading
my-
out
yeah,
from the
I don't know.
80s. But
Yeah, I do not know how to sign.
But yeah,
So
but
good.
and if folks, if you live south of the James River, we are your food bank.
Yes.
We're serving your neighbors.
I love
So,
that.
if food insecurity is something you care about and you want to help the school pantry program or, the programs we have for senior citizens or some of our motel outreach, that kind of thing, give on Giving Tuesday, December 2nd. And
Make a
and-
difference.
Make a huge
make a
impact.
huge difference.
Yeah.
That's right.
Think of every time I think about you guys talking about that Tuesday, just like a tidal wave, a
It is.
tsunami of help
Yep.
that just comes
Yep.
in.
That's
So
it.
yeah.
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 And it's not
After
just-
you got your belly full on Thanksgiving and spent
Yeah.
it, and then give back and give thanks. To,
Yeah. You
to
can
the
do it on the
community.
couch. That's what I
Yeah.
plan on doing.
Yes.
That's right.
There you go. There you go.
That's
1,
right.
2, 3. I'm sure it's probably pretty simple.
I
So
know.
thank you guys for being here. This was,
Absolutely.
we could probably go on for hours, or I could at least.
I know.
But I love this, and we'll definitely have you guys on again because I'm sure
Yeah.
there's another project that we'll be working on. But thank you guys for being here. This was an absolute
Thank
honor.
you for having us.
Absolutely. So make sure that you guys do give on Giving Tuesday. Again, that's December 2nd, and it's at CFOBC.
No.
CFBOC.
You got it.
I
There
got
you
it.
go.
CFB. OC.
CFB.
CFBOC.
It's like
There
the
you go.
OC.
Yes.
Not really, but
Right.
it's
Yes.
CFB. OC.
I'll get it eventually, but we'll put the link in the chat as well too, or in the comments so that you guys can go there and give of your money because that's helpful on
Yep.
Giving Tuesday, but then also look in and see how you can volunteer as well too.
Yeah.
Because like we
Yeah.
talked about before, time is the one commodity that you can never get back
That's it.
get back. So
Yeah.
it's definitely your most precious commodity, and
That's it.
that fills
Yeah.
the heart paycheck.
Mhm.
So thank you guys for being here. And as always, stay fluid, my friends. I'm always cheering for you. Have a good one. Bye.